1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. We're going to look at how to play this with basic open chords, but also that riff that you just saw me play. The original recording and every version of this song is in E-flat tuning, so tuned down by half a step. I'm in standard tuning. I'm going to stay in standard tuning for this tutorial just so you can learn it without having to retune your guitar. It's all exactly the same, but if you want to play it along to the original recording, check out this video and get your guitar into E-flat tuning down by half a step. Everything's played exactly the same. It just sounds a little bit lower and means that you can play along with Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins to this great song. So the basic chords to this one, if we were to just strum it and just do 8th strumming, just do a basic thing, no riffs or anything, would be E major to an A sus2 for like most of the song. So it's really worth just getting a handle on this first of all and just playing E major for 2 bars and A major for 2 bars in the following strumming pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the same on the A. Join in. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it just repeats like that for most of the song, okay? The only other chords, if you were doing it this way, would be an F sharp minor played like this, kind of like we do in High and Dry by Radiohead. I've done that tutorial as well. And then the same thing, but kind of play a B power chord and then let the thinnest 2 strings ring out. So keep that, don't bar it, keep the thinnest 2 strings open. That's just for that ending. 1 bar of each chord, and that like gets you through most of the song. Over the top of that, or instead of that, we do have this riff. So let's look in depth in this riff now. It starts off with this octave technique, which is used in lots of alternate rock stuff. Everlong's probably the most famous example. It's that kind of idea. Here we have to do it at the 6th fret and the 8th fret. No matter what tuning you're in, they're the frets. And we want those 2 notes ringing out, and first of all, no others. Just see if you can do this, because then we can use this octave technique in loads of other songs. And to do that, we need a really flat first finger. So first finger hitting string 5, fret 6, and muting all the thinner strings, the thinner 4 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, by just resting on those strings like that. And then the little finger plays the 8th fret. You could use the 3rd finger for this, many people do, but we are going to go down to the 2nd fret, so it is a bit of a stretch. Personally, I like to use my little finger when we're down there. So 6 and 8, slide it up 1 fret for 7 and 9, down to 2nd fret and 4th fret. The only difference that we want to do is just keep that thickest string ringing out. So that first finger, for me, it was muting string 6 there, just so you could hear what I was doing. Just make sure it's ringing out and not touching it. I'll link to tab in the description below so you can see how many times that happens. But just to give you a handle on what happens next, it's then the open A string and 6th fret with a little bend down, which I would do with the middle finger as well. It's one thing that tab doesn't tell you. Supporting bends like this. And then we slide down to 4th and 2. And that's the riff. The last 2 strums lift off of this hand so that we can get to that bend. 3, 4, and. So you always kind of go early. When we finish this one, for example, lift off, get to the next chord. Lift off early and get there for beat 1 in this case. 2, 3, 4. Notice that lift off? That's how we actually make the change in time. And that is the intro and the verses. At the end of the verses, we just have this little chord. This is how Billy Corgan plays that F sharp minor to a B chord. It's up here at the 7th fret and the 9th fret, 7 and 9. And it would be open, open if you're playing them, or just don't play them for the first 2 strings. That is 9th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, and then a mute. Switch to this little E major shape in the position of a B. And that would finish off. The whole riff. Play the ending this time. When we get to the chorus, it's this way of playing an E major chord, which is an E power chord at 7th fret, 9th fret, and 9th fret, but with all 6 strings ringing out. So rather than a power chord, which I'd play like this, we have that first finger on the tip, letting everything ring out. It's then an E over D sharp. We move that first finger down 1 fret to the 6th. But don't worry, then we just go back to that riff. And there we go. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite song is that uses these kind of chords. Again, Everlong's a good one. High and Dry uses very similar chords. E major chord like this and this. That kind of octave technique. And I might film a tutorial if I've not done it yet in the future. But let's have a look at the rest of this song now. The only section we've not covered here is the bridge section, which uses the following chords: C sharp minor, which I would play like a power chord, and then with the thinnest 2 strings ringing out. So kind of like we did the E. So just slide that down to the 4th fret, 6th fret and 6th fret, A sus2, and then a B. That's just with 8th all down strumming. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then we're back to a verse, so it's back to the riff. These 2 fingers, or the whole thing just slides up, and we play the riff again. Let me know your comments and suggestions for future tutorials in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Check out these videos if you want to watch more.